Welcome to Bite Size Rando. My name is Didier Kirby. Today, we're going to be talking about the time it takes to walk from Link's house over to the front of Hyrule Castle Escape. But more specifically, we're going to be comparing that time against the time it takes to walk to the front of Escape from Link's uncle here in the Hyrule Castle Secret Passage. Now, this could be really relevant in open mode seeds, because a common starting route is to come here to the Secret Passage and talk to Link's uncle and get those quick checks out of the way. And then, of course, if you do happen to find a sword or some other weapon that you can clear the front of Escape with, then you can walk out of here and then go ahead and do the front of Escape right there. But if you don't find any weaponry, then you're most likely going to have to save and quit from here. And that probably means that at some point in the future, you're going to have to make an extra save and quit back to Link's house and make that walk that we talked about to go to the front of Escape. Now, we're interested in learning how much time that actually costs you. Of course, another way to handle the front of Escape if you leave it behind is to mirror from the pyramid in the Dark World, but we're not really going to concern ourselves with that today. So let's go ahead and look at the time comparisons. Okay, so we're going to be comparing how long it takes to walk from Link's uncle to the front of Escape versus how long it takes to do a save and quit to Link's house and then walk to Escape from there. And the bottom two videos are going to be the same thing, except we're going to have the boots in those two videos. Now, of course, if you're planning on going to the front of Escape right away, it makes no sense to save and quit from Uncle, but we're just doing that for timing purposes because it doesn't really matter where you save and quit to. Now, of course, as we would expect, it is going to be faster to just walk over to Escape from Link's uncle, and it looks like it takes about 16 seconds with the boots, about 19 or 20 seconds without the boots. And you'll see that, of course, it does cost you time, some extra time if you have to do an extra save and quit and take an extra walk from Link's house. So it looks like without the boots, it's going to cost you about 10 seconds, maybe 19 and a half seconds. And then with the boots, it's going to be a little bit less, of course. It's going to cost you maybe 7.5 seconds. So that is a cost that you are most likely going to have to pay if you do decide to double up on this walk to Hyrule Castle Escape. Now, something else that can be really relevant when thinking about these decisions is often after finishing up the front of Escape, so after opening this chest, you might want to set up a death warp. So you can do that by either using the screen guard here if you haven't killed them, or if you have some bombs on hand and you're at low enough health, you can also use a bomb or two to set that death warp. And then after you respawn, you'll be able to walk up to the throne room and then eventually make it over to this chest at Dark Cross. And if you have a key, like I do right now, you can actually use that key to go all the way to the back of Hyrule Castle Escape. So that is an option that's available. Now, of course, you might elect not to do this, either because you don't feel confident in getting to Dark Cross, or maybe you don't have any bombs to get to the back of Escape. You also might just not feel comfortable with your equipment, or you might feel that it's slow. Whatever the reason, if you decide to not take this death warp, then you're most likely going to save and quit out of here. And that means that, of course, if you want to get back to Dark Cross, you're probably going to have to take another save and quit somewhere to Link's house, and then take that walk over to Hyrule Castle again. So it's going to be kind of the same deal as with Link's uncle, except now we're considering how long it takes to walk to front of Escape versus how long it takes to death warp after this chest. So let's look at those timing comparisons. Okay, so I have 4 different videos for you again. On the right side, both of these are going to be saving quitting and then walking from Link's house. Top is going to be without boots, and then bottom is going to be with boots. It's basically going to be the same timings that I have shown before in the previous set of comparisons. But on the left, we're going to be doing a death warp. And I have 2 different versions of the death warp. The bottom left version is going to be a really fast version where we just use a single bomb, so that's going to be very fast. The top left version is kind of going to be a worst case where you have already killed the green guard in this room, and you don't have any bombs on hand, and so you have to backtrack through this sequence of rooms to get to the next available green guard to do the death warp, and that is, of course, going to be a lot slower. So you'll see, of course, that if you set up the optimal bomb death warp, that is going to be really fast. Of course, if you have the mirror on hand, that's going to be even faster. If you have to backtrack, then you'll have to backtrack all the way, to that room with that green guard, and that is going to, of course, take quite a bit longer. And you'll see that it is actually going to be even longer than if you were to just save and quit and just walk from Link's house. And remember, we have the boots in both cases. So if you don't have access to the green guard in this room right here, and you've already killed it, I would basically never suggest backtracking in order to do the death warp. It seems like it's always going to be faster to just save and quit and take another trip from Link's house to the front of Escape. So I would never do this backtrack. But you can see that as far as these comparisons go, doing this Death Warp is going to save you quite a significant amount of time versus if you have to walk from Link's house and save and quit again. So it looks like it's going to save you about, let's see, 19-ish seconds between doing the Death Warp and then doing the extra save and quit, or maybe a little bit less if you have the boots. So it's going to be maybe 5 seconds less than that. So maybe about 14 seconds if you do have the boots on hand. So hopefully these timing comparisons can help you make some informed decisions about how to handle the front of Escape and how to handle this potential Death Warp and all of that stuff. So hopefully you can put this to use when next time that this comes up in an open seed or any other seed.